Namaskar, hello and welcome to NCERT's special live phone-in program. This is a webinar on ICT tools, and in this particular session we are going to talk about creating interactive book using Book Creator. So, Book Creator, what is it? I'll give you a brief introduction about it. Rest, of course, the expert will take over and she'll give you all the details about Book Creator and what all it does and how is it helpful for you and for me and for all the viewers who are watching. So, Book Creator is a simple tool for creating digital books for the teachers. Alright, now this makes me even more curious that how is it even possible. So we are going to talk about this till 5 o'clock. If you have any questions regarding Book Creator, you want to know something and maybe you know partially about it and you want to have complete knowledge about it, then please watch this session and send in your queries through our email ID, which is ciet.kishoremanch@gmail.com. You can even call us on our toll-free numbers. The numbers are 1800-112199 and 1800-111-265. Well, you're watching us on PM eVidya channel number 1 to 9 and on channel number 11 and channel number 12. So there are so many mediums through which you're watching us, and yes, I can't forget about our YouTube channel, which is NCERT Official. In the live chat box, you can write your questions as always and send it to us, and our expert, she'll be more than happy to answer all your queries, all your doubts. Let's meet our expert for this webinar. We have with us Mrs. Kamal Preet. Welcome, ma'am.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste, ma'am. She is a TGT, Department of Science, Delhi Public School, Bangalore. All right. So let's begin with our discussion on Book Creator. Ma'am, Book Creator, can you please introduce this tool for me and to our viewers, students, teachers who are watching you right now?
Yes, surely. Book Creator is a very simple tool which is used to create ebooks. Ebooks are digital books and they help to combine different elements which are found in a book, that is text with images, videos and audio.
Okay.
And we will get to know more about it in this session.
Okay, so shall we begin?
Sure.
Okay.
So before we get started with Book Creator, okay, first we have to differentiate between what is a book and an ebook. So what is the purpose of a book? A book is generally a medium for recording information, and this information can be in the form of text along with certain images. All of this combined together in a number of pages, and it generally has a cover, of course. This is slightly different from an ebook in that an ebook is an electronic book which is meant that an electronic book in a digital medium meant to be seen on digital devices or electronic devices.
Okay.
So what is Book Creator? Book Creator is something which is it's a tool or an app which is used to create these electronic books or ebooks. So in short, it is an open-ended creation tool for iOS and Chrome, and students and teachers can create books by combining interactive pages that have text, they've got images, they've got videos, they've got sound. In fact, they've got anything that has an embed code. Once this book has been created, the teachers can put it in library. They can invite students to view these pages, these books in the library, and they can also publish it for a global audience. So sharing the agenda for the day, what will we do today? First, we will examine Book Creator project ideas. Then we will explore the Book Creator features. We will try out with a hands-on session, and lastly, we will gain some resources so that all of us can get started right on. Let's get inspired to use Book Creator. So where all can you use these Book Creators? Like I said, you can use it to create digital portfolios, poetry books, step-by-step guides, science reports, learning journals, and comics. These are just a few examples, and let's see these examples in action. If you're talking about elementary school, you can actually have your students create a math journal where they take screenshots of their favorite math apps, or for English class, you can have a collaborative book where all the children in the class combine together to create a book using sight words. That is for elementary school. How does it look in middle school? Middle schoolers can actually create their own textbooks on any subject of their choice, or they can choose to select their learning from project-based learning or hands-on activities and publish it in the form of an e-book. What does it look for a high schooler? It's obviously going to be different, because high schoolers can synthesize all this information, from multiple resources. They can research the work, they can cite references, and then they can also include their own original work to create a book. They can also create how-to journals where you have the students having a walkthrough of how they were able to, let's say, solve math problems, as you can see in this example. So now you have seen it for students. How can teachers use it? Teachers can use it in order to collect all resources, multiple resources, in order to combine all the lesson plans and then share all this with their colleagues. We've seen books. We've seen how books can be created for different subjects, for different grade levels. Now, let's explore the features of Book Creator. So, once you go into Book Creator, you'll have to Google that. You would be presented with the sign-in option. You click on the sign-in button and you will be given two options, that of a student sign-in and a teacher sign-in. Now you have to be very careful when you are selecting this option, because teachers have an additional advantage that they can create libraries and they can invite students within those libraries, and they can also publish books. Students don't have this ability. They cannot publish books. And so these are the two options that we see. And once you have signed in as a teacher, you are presented with this screen where you get to see all the books in your library. And we would obviously like to create a new book. You can see that orange button. You're supposed to click on it to get started with creating a new book. And once you do that, you would be given the option of choosing a shape for your book. You have two options. You have a plain option and then you have a comic option. I personally prefer the comic option. Why? You'll have to be very, very attentive to find out what are the advantages of choosing the comic option. For now, I'm going to select the landscape option, and I also need to mention one important thing. In case you are planning to have a collaborative book, then you have to ensure that all your students use that particular size itself. So what works really well is if you can create a template and have all your students copy that template and edit that copy. So once that you have selected your template, okay, I selected the comic option. You are ready with your basic book, and the basic book has got 3 pages. It's got a cover page, it's got a content page, and it has the last page. And this is the cover page that you see. And if you look at on the top, you will be able to see the menu bar. The menu bar has got 3 different items. You have an option for adding an item, an inspector, and for playing the book. If you click on adding an item, you could actually get all these options. So you can add menu, comics, and shapes. Within the media, you can import, you can click, you can use your camera, you can select the pen tool, the text tool, and also the record option. Let's see what happens when we click on import. Again, you have this multitude of options available. You can import images by using Google Image Search, and the best thing about Google Image Search is that all these images are safe and they are marked safe for reuse with modification. You can also choose to include maps from Google Maps. You can include files from your own computer or files which are shared on your Google Drive, or you can embed anything which has that embed code. And that makes Book Creator so powerful because it allows you to app smash. And that is how I've been able to app smash with two other favorite tools of mine, that is Adobe Spark and Flipgrid. The next thing that you see on the ad media is you would be seeing the pen tool, and within the pen tool, obviously you have the different option that for color you can select any color, and I would like you to focus on two special things over here. You do have glittery pens, and you have something which is known as magic ink. That's very special because it allows the color of that ink changes as you write, and children find this very intriguing. They have lots of fun using both these options. Once you've selected color, you can then select what does your pen look like. Do you want it to be a pen, a brush, a crayon, a highlighter, or very important, auto draw? What's so special about auto draw is everybody's not an artist, and but that shouldn't stop you from experimenting. And with auto draw, what you can do is, so long as you are able to make a rough drawing, AI comes into the picture and it will give you options of what it thinks that you have drawn. So over here, I've drawn a bicycle, and it doesn't look very nice. It doesn't look like much of a bicycle, but using auto draw, I can select one of the options, and I can also fill color in it using the fill tool. You can see over here where I created a sun and filled it with color. The last option is really special to me because it allows you to add emojis. Emojis make learning so much child friendly. And this is especially useful for teachers because when you're grading content, you can always add these emojis. You can present them as stickers to your children. So that's all about the pen tool. We'll now move on to adding text. And you have the regular options for adding text. You have the bold, the italics, the underline. What I want you to focus over here is the ability to add links. Not only that, but especially for teachers, you have the option that you need not type all the text, but you can also, Book Creator allows you to speak, and it will convert your speech into text. That is one advantage. There's another advantage that teachers and students can copy paste content from other sources, and they can paste it directly into this text box over here. The next option that we have is that for recording your voice, and you can use it for adding a voiceover or narration to your book. But let's now come to something that gets me really excited, and I really get excited with the comic options. And out of the comic options, the first thing that you're presented is with panels. So you can select from the multitude of panels. Comics can be an excellent writing stimulus for students who are reluctant authors. So who doesn't like comics? And children just love to create books in the form of comics. So once you've created the panel, you can also add other comic book features. That is, you can add speech bubbles and thought bubbles. And you can also then go on to create the entire scene for the comic by using text. And in text, you have different options: caption, title, boom, and text. I personally prefer the caption option, and you can see over here, it helps to build the mood for the comic. And not to forget the stickers. So Book Creator gives you these two options. Either you can use stickers which are already there in Book Creator, or you can create your own stickers. So in the slide, you can see that I've used POW, that is a pre-created sticker, and I've created my own sticker for comics. We are moving on to the last option, that is for adding shapes, and Book Creator gives you all these different shapes, and you can combine these shapes, you can change the color, and these shapes are very, very useful when you're trying to create mind maps and for creating infographics. Now that you've created the book, we want to give it a background. And for doing that, we will go to the inspector menu, and it will give you all these options of comic backgrounds, or it has other categories like that. For color, you can have solid colors, you have paper, you have borders, you can select textures as well as patterns. Now that your book has been created, obviously you would want to read the book, and that comes when you move out of the book and you click on this last button which you see over here. You can also choose to publish your book. How do you do that? By clicking on the central button that you see over here. Once you click on that button, you will be presented with the screen. So you're supposed to give your book a title, fill in the details for the author, and you're ready to go.
Okay, this seems wonderful.
Ma'am, that's not it. That's not all. We can also, once we've created the book, we can also move it to a library. In case it's a book that you want, you've created a template and you want all the children to follow that template, you can create a copy of that book, and so that your original is safe and the children are just making edits to the copy. After that, you have another feature that is combining books, and I totally love it. Why do I love it? Because generally when you log in as with a free account, each educator has got one library, and in that one library you have access to 40 books. So once all your 40 children have created the books, you fall short of one book. Okay, so you do not have a space for one child. So what do? You can actually combine all the assignments for the children into one book, and by using the combine books feature, and you can choose to archive it, and you can then retrieve it from the archived section, or if you're done with it, you can choose to simply delete the book. So after we've seen how we create the book, we are ready to put it into a library, and for doing that, we would have to move to the teacher dashboard and create a new library. You can see the button over there. Once you click on it, you will be presented with this option where you're going to give your library a name. You select from a multitude of options. I want you to focus on the fact that the last option, that is students can publish the books online, that has been switched off, because you have to be very, very careful that with younger children, you wouldn't want them to publish anything without going through your eyes first. So we've done that, and once we have created our library, now we want to add our books to the library, and for doing that, we will go to a book. You can see something known as an invite code. You're going to share that invite code with your students, but you have to be very, very careful when you're sharing this code, that you do not share it on social media, because anybody who has the code will have access to your library and to your book. In the teacher dashboard, I also get to see what all books have been shared with me, and I have an opportunity to join a library provided somebody shared that code with me. So that is all about book creator. Let's now move on to the real magical thing. Let's have a hand-on session, and for doing that, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a minute, and we are going to go to book creator. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to go to Google. You're going to type book creator. Okay, typo, but it's all right. And it's taking some time. Yes, it's there. It's the first link which comes up. Once you go over there, you will be presented with a screen which will have the sign in button. So it's there. I'm going to click on the sign in button, and again, like I told you in the PPT that you are presented with two options. So you have your student sign in and you have your teacher sign in. Notice how students can sign in using their Gmail account, the Microsoft, or using a QR code. They can also sign in with the Clever account. Teachers, on the other hand, they have the option, they do not have that option for QR code. They have to sign in with the Google, Microsoft, or with their email account. Now, I created an account with Book Creator, so I'm going to sign in using my account, and it's going to take me a minute as I log in. Okay, so this is my account. And we should be in quickly. Yes, we are there. And like I showed you in the PPT, you get to see all the books that are there. Okay, all the books which are there in my library. It's taking some time to display the books, but we'll be there. Okay, so you can see some of my books, and we're not going to wait any more time, and we are going to simply go on to creating a new book. Like I said, you immediately get taken to options for selecting your book shape, and I'm going to select my favorite, that is comic shape, and you get a pre-made book, a template which has a cover page, a content page, that is page number 2, and then you have the last page, that is page number 3. You can always continue to add more pages using the plus button over here. But for now, I am going to go to my cover page, and let's make a cover. So like I told you, you have in the menu bar, you have these 3 menus present. You have an add an item, you have an inspector, and you have a read book. I'm going to go to the first one, and I'm going to be adding some media. So you have again all these options. I'm going to import pictures, and you get all these options present over there. Now I have already thought of what my book is going to look like. So it always helps if you storyboarded your book so that you can quickly create it. So on page number 1, I want to have an image of a great Indian hornbill. You have all these options, and I like the first one itself, so I'm going to select it, and it is added. Okay, it is added to my screen. You can notice that I can increase or decrease the size of the image, and let's practice that again. So I'm going to again click on the plus sign, go to media, import and image, and I want to add a Nilgiri tahir this time, another endangered species. So okay, which one? Okay, I like this one, so I'm going to click on that and select. Okay, this looks nice, but I need space for adding a title to my book, so I'm going to reduce the size for this, and I want to give it a title. So plus again, and go to media and go to text. So I am going to call my book, I've planned out everything, so I'm going to call my book Biodiversity in Western Ghats, and I put my name over there. I'm going to make it bold. Done. Not quite, it doesn't look as good, so let's make some edits. Going to the inspector, I can increase the size. This seems to be nice. I can centralize the text, and I can change the color. So I've done this, but does it really look like a cover? Something's missing, and to add that, I'm going to give it a background. Like I told you, you've got different options for comic backgrounds, for different categories like colors. You can select your own color also. Doesn't look nice. I am going to select papers. So you can see you have, you can put with MacBook appearance, you can have ruled book, You have borders present over here. Okay, this looks nice, but I really like this one. It doesn't go well, but let's have this. Okay, so this looks nice and it is matching my theme. I only need to reduce the size of my pictures over here and perhaps this to some extent. Okay, and I'm happy with what I have. So that is the cover page. Now let's add another page. So on page number 2, what do I want to add? I want to show the Western Ghats. So we're going to locate the position on the map, and before we do that, we are going to give it a background. So that's done.
Okay.
And now we're going to add.
Ma'am, I have a question. So
Yes,
you took these pictures from the internet itself, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So-
Right here from Google image search.
Okay, and if you have something in your laptop itself, then you can take those pictures as well?
Yes, ma'am, I can do that. You have this file option. So I can go over there. I can select from my laptop. Okay, I have this. Okay, this I'll delete this. So okay, you can increase, decrease. This is how you can do this. I'm deleting it right now, and it's as simple as that. You can also import images from your Google Drive.
Okay, as in there are various options available.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and the templates here for the background, they're really nice.
Thank you, ma'am. That children really have a lot of fun with these templates. It makes our work so much more easier. So I am now continuing making my book.
Yes, please.
And I want to show where are the Western Ghats on the map of India. So I've typed India and I want to have the whole country. Yes, I can see this, and I'm going to take a satellite view of the country. This works well for me, and I'm going to select, and there you have it. It's been added. It's as simple as that, but it's still incomplete because we need to mark the location of Western Ghats. So for doing that, I'm going to use the pen tool, and like I told you, I am so partial to these glittery options. And let's first try out the rainbow option. And the Western Ghats are over here, so I'm going to mark this out over here. It's as simple as that. It is done. So you have noted the position of the Western Ghats. Now we need to add in text. So what does this represent? This represents location of Western Ghats. And that's what I've added. I can make it bold, and I'm done. I can increase the size slightly and centralize it. And this looks good. This looks decent enough. Now I also have an option of adding any of importing files. So I created the PPT on Western Ghats. I can import it from my computer, or let's say I'm going to. For now, I'm just going to use this dummy PDF, and I'm going to add that. Okay, so you can add PPTs, you can add PDFs like this. It's as simple as that. So I'm pretty happy with the second page where we've marked the location of Western Ghats. Now let's move on to the third page. And in the third page, like I told you, I've already storyboarded this. I would want to add a video. So how do you take video from YouTube? How do you add that? And like I told you, anything which has an embed code that can be added. So we are first going to go to a video. You can Google for it. It has to be one on biodiversity. I've already identified the video that I want to share. So it's taking some time to load. Okay, I'm going to pause it. And how do we get that embed code? You're going to go to the share option, and the first thing that you see over there, that is your embed code. You can choose to share it from a particular point of time, but I'm good with this. So I'm going to copy this, copied it, and I move to my book creator, import and embed option, and paste it over here. Confirm the video web link, and you would be presented with the title and the web page. I'm going to edit the title slightly and add it to my book. So this is too small.
Ma'am, is there any limitation of your book that it should be this thin, or number of pages should be there, or this thick, anything like that? Any restrictions?
No, ma'am. We create the books. We've gone to 95 pages, and it works well even with 95 pages. And like I told you, teachers can combine the books from all their children in a class into that one book, and then they can archive it. That helps to save on space. So nothing that I've come across so far.
Okay, all right.
And okay, this doesn't look that nice. Okay, let's give it a background. Okay, this seems decent enough. And what else do we need to add to this? Okay, this is about nice. Let's now move on to the fourth page. And in the fourth page, let's say I want to record. I want to record a video. Okay, children want to record a reflective piece. So how to do that? They would go to the plus sign again, and they would go to the camera. When they go to the camera, they have the option of either taking a photo, a picture, or they can record a video. So I'm going to have my script ready with me. This is what I want to say, and I can press the record video, open my script, and simply read it. Okay, so among the 32 threatened species are the critically endangered Malabar large spotted civet and the endangered lion-tailed macaw, Nilgiri tahir, Bengal tiger, and Indian elephants. And I'm going to stop it over there, stop the video. You can listen to it. Okay, this looks fine, and I'm going to use the video over here.
So it's for around 14 seconds.
Yes, ma'am. You can make it longer because I want to cover all the features. That's why I've done a quick job of it.
This looks nice.
Okay. Now you can also do one thing, okay, that you want to include some assessment. So how do you do that? I've already created an assessment in a formative assessment in quizzes, and I can put that within Book Creator. And you guessed it right that you can do it using the embed feature. So go to media, go to import again, and you have the embed feature, and you can add it over here. Confirm the web link, and you get your formative assessment added over here as well. So simple. Let's say now we want to also include the text to whatever I had said. You recorded in the video. I also want to include the text. So again, you're going to go to the media, you're going to go to text, and you are quickly going to add that over here. But done. I am happy with this, and I only need to format it. This looks good enough. We are done with the fourth page. You can see that within a couple of minutes, I've been able to create 4 pages of the book, and that's not it. Now we come on to the most interesting feature, which excites me the most. We will be talking about comics. So how can you create these comics? You are supposed to click on the plus icon again, and you get the option of selecting the panel. And I particularly like this one, 3. This one looks nice, but the background seems a bit off. Let's give it a comic background itself. So green one, yes. Now you can add content into these pre-made panels, and for doing that, all that you have to do is click on them and you can see that these panels are locked, and you've got two options. Either you can select a file, or you can add your photograph. So I'm going to select a file right now, and again it gives you three options of doing Google image search, of selecting files which are there on your computer, or you've already shared it on your Google Drive. And over here I want to add Kamgiri Tahir. So that is done. Search, which looks pretty. I'm going to have another one. This one we've already taken. Okay. I need this to be big. So to change it, you're going to click on it, and you will drag it from the handles. So I added the first one. I now want to add another endangered species. I'm going to include the gaur, or the Indian bison, and done that. Look, okay. Which one looks nice? I like this one, and select it. Okay. So you can see that the comic is taking shape, but it's still incomplete. So I want to add the thought and the speech bubbles first. Let's add a thought bubble. What would he be thinking? Okay, probably looking at this fellow and saying, "My God, he is. What does he eat?" So, just to add a little bit of fun element, we have that, and now we can have real content, real information in the form of what the gaur is saying. So we will do that over here, and click on that, and you get this. So who said vegetarians are weak? I'm the largest and tallest in the family of wild cattle. This adds the fun element. And now we need to build the mood. That mood comes through the textile, and I'm going to select the caption option and set the mood with this text. Deep inside the Western Ghats, two friends meet at the watering hole. That is done, and I can choose to add it over here. This looks nice and still incomplete. Let's add some stickers to make it more comic-like. And like I said, you can choose from stickers which are already there in a book creator, or you can create your own. I can have amazing. So he is amazed that even though he's a vegetarian, he still happens to be so big and powerful. So amazing, and he's also getting starry-eyed. So how do we add the stars? Simple. We just go to shapes. We will select a star for his eyes. Okay, so one starry eye, a star going on one eye, and create a copy for the other eye, and it's done. So he's completely starry-eyed with what he sees. Okay, we can add in more drama by putting in sound. Okay, so what would he sound like? Okay, let's record that. Look at that muscle. You must be on a high protein diet. So children can actually have a lot of fun doing this by creating different sounds. So I'm going to use that, and I'm going to add it over here. And what do you think he would be sounding like? We will not do that recording, but children can have so much fun doing this. So I am happy with what I've created, and in case you want to interchange the position of the pages, you can do that. Probably this has to come in the end because it has that quizzes. So I'm going to keep it in the end and interchange the pages. This seems to be nice. Okay, cover page, location of the Western Ghats. Then we've added a video, we've created comics, and we have also recorded a reflection piece along with formative assessment. So we are fine with this. We are done with this. And let's go back. Now, We want to go and put it out in the library. So we'll go back to My Books, and there you see it. We want to see what it looks like. So we're going to click on the read button. And once you do that, very quickly, let's see what it sounds, what it feels like. Okay, so you can see it's reading it aloud to you. You can adjust all this by clicking on this option over here, where you can choose to have side-by-side pages. So you can switch it on and off. I think side-by-side works well. You can select the voice. I'm a girl, so I would say girl voice, so that works. You can choose to have the words highlighted. I particularly like that. Play multimedia, turn pages automatically. I generally switch this off. And you can adjust the speed as well. So that is done, and we are done with this book. So we're going to return back to My Books and now publish this. So how do you publish it? You're going to click on the share options and you're going to publish it online. So I'm going to give it a name. This is biodiversity. Simply going to call it biodiversity, and okay, and the author, and you are ready to publish your book. Now that the teacher has published her book, she now needs to share it with the students. And how can you do that? You have this option of moving it to a library, to your library, which has been shared with students. So I'm going to move it to a library. I'm going to move it to STG Warriors Library. So this works. And as we do that, let's just a minute. Let me go to the STG Warrior Library. Now, how did we come over here? If you click on this option over here, you would come to what is known as the teacher dashboard, and you can see all these libraries that you have. I'm going to go to the STG Warrior Library, and you can see my book present over here. To share it with my students, I need to generate an invite code. And how do you do that? Simply click over here, and you can see the code, and you can share it with your students. In case you have, like I told you, you have to be very careful with whom you're going to share it. So you can, in case you've made an error, you can also expire the code. You have this option present over here. So we can also combine books. Right now, I just have 2 books over here. Okay, so I can combine them into a single book. So combine books, this book, and click on next. And you can give it, let's say, the name of combine, and you can select the author, and you can create the book. Now you're going to end up with 3 books in your library. So you're going to get the combined book, you're going to have the biodiversity one and the cell one. Okay, let's see what's there in the combined book. What does it look like? Why is it looking blank? Actually, it's not blank. It has got both the books in it. Okay, it is taking time. Right. So that's the first page. You have all the pages for this book, and you have the pages for the other book as well. So we've seen how to combine books, and now let's move on to the other features which are there in the teacher dashboard. You can create a new library. So you click on this option, and you can give it a name. Let's say I'm going to call it test. Okay, and you can play around with these options. Like I told you, you have to be very careful with keeping the last option switched off. It should only be switched on if your children are bigger. Okay, so we created the library, and you can see other books which have been shared with me, and you can also join a library. And that's all about the hands-on section. Let's now jump back to our slides. I still have to share how can you get started with Book Creator? What are these other resources that you can jump to? So um, here are some ideas of how you can use Book Creator. For English language, you can use it to create a literary magazine. Instead of just having the conventional creative writing assignments, children can publish books for a real audience, thereby moving outside their classroom. You can also use it for second language and third languages, and by creating a tour guide, so they actually get to apply the second language and third language for a real purpose. Again, for math, you can use it for showing how math is linked to real life, and they can demonstrate their understanding of angles, where they see them in the real world, and so on and so forth. For science, we can use it to create lab reports. Now, science is a lot about putting evidence together, and using book creators, teachers can have students document their experiments with video and discuss using data and graphs to make inferences that can be commented upon by their peers. In addition to that, if they're working on a hands-on activity, they can show their progress through photographs or through videos. You can use it in SST by creating a comic book that tells the story of a special moment in history, and you will love this. You can also have them create a timeline using the shapes feature. Another thing, they can use Book Creator to create a digital portfolio that they can then share with colleges and potential employers, and something which is absolutely essential given this time of remote learning. Children can use Book Creator for social emotional learning. So students can chronicle and interviews with community members to understand their perspectives, their experiences, and their contribution. Not only that, they can capture pictures that represent their different feelings with information about moments when they felt a certain way. So we really want children to discuss what they're feeling at this point of time, given these unprecedented circumstances that we are in. You can also use all these different types of media, audio, video, text, illustration to differentiate student responses. In addition to that, the last thing that you can do is you have support pages on Book Creator. You can check them out for privacy and collaboration. You can subscribe to the newsletter and also attend their webinars. And that's about it related to Book Creator. And if anybody has any questions, I am most welcome to answer them.
Yes, ma'am. I've got a lot of questions. Firstly, because it's an e-book, and we always have this argument or discussion, should I say, on whether books are better or e-books, because there are certain pros and cons for both of them. So how is e-book better than a book? Can you explain in simple words for the students who are watching?
Absolutely. Right now, okay, we are there in times of remote learning. The one challenge that all teachers and students are facing right now is with engagement. Books are nice. The physical books are really nice when you're there in a physical environment, that you're going to your school, you're going attending your classes, then books work really well. But right now, given remote learning, we're not really sure of what the students are doing once they have connected in the Zoom meetings, in the team meetings. We can't really see whether they've understood the content. So the challenge right now is of engaging the students. And how do you engage the students? By building in interactivity. Rather than students just reading from a book or solving the questions which are there in a book, using these e-books, you can create those interactions which allow for student engagement. So like I told you, you can add in video, you can add in virtual field trips, anything which has an embed code that can be added to Book Creator.
Right.
So right now, e-books, I would prefer e-books.
Okay, so that's the new generation call.
Yes, ma'am. Everybody likes media.
Okay, Absolutely. I totally agree. Okay, ma'am, this tool, Book Creator, is it absolutely free of cost or there's a hidden cost behind it?
No, ma'am. You do have you have options that you can go in for the free account, and or you can go in for the paid account. If you're going in for the free account, you have limitations like each teacher would have just one library, and within that library, they would have those 40 students can be 40 books can be created. So. So long as you're able to work around that, like by combining books, by archiving books, I think free version works very well.
Okay, all right. I was about to ask the same thing, that how many books can one create from one of the accounts? So,
Uh,
yes,
yes, ma'am.
please go ahead.
So a teacher would have one personal library where she is not going to be sharing, which is just her own,
Okay.
and then she's going to have another library which is meant to be shared with the students. So in the personal library, she can have 40 books, and in the other shared library, another 40 books, so 80 books over there. So I think that's sufficient. And if you are an MIEE, if you are a Microsoft expert, then you have this option of getting 3 libraries.
Okay.
So that's something pretty handy.
All right. Okay. Ma'am, when you started the tool Book Creator, you signed in. So is it necessary or is it an option?
But for teachers, you need to sign in, but students, they need not sign in. So if you have really young students, okay, obviously they're not going to have an email account. So what teachers can do is they can generate a code for each of their students, and they can use that code to sign in, to log in, and or they can have a QR code generated for each child, or they can have a link for each child. So you have these different options. You have the option of a code, of a QR code, and also of a link for the children to sign in.
Okay, okay, wonderful. That makes a lot more sense now. And ma'am, is there any application available for this tool so that students can download on their smartphones?
Yes, ma'am. You can. It is available for on Chrome. So you have Book Creator on Chrome, and you also have it as a standalone for iPads. They're different from each other. So you have a standalone version for iPads, and then you have something for Chrome browser, and then you can always go online, just like I demonstrated right now.
Okay, all right. And ma'am, you showed that invite code for the library. So where exactly is that, and what's the location of that invite code?
I'll quickly, if we have time, can I just have a run through of that?
Ma'am, we've got 2 minutes if you can manage in that time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Give me a minute.
Yes.
And I'm there over here. And let's say I'm there in the library. Let's say I'm over here itself. And on each book, you would see this invite code. You're going to click over there, and you get this code, and you need to share it with your students, and they would be able to join in.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Is there any particular number with whom you can share this code, like 10, 20, 50, any such number, or this is unlimited?
Ma'am, like I said, you would have 40 books in a library. So each child is supposed to be having one book, or if you have limited devices, or you're there in a classroom setting, you can also have children sharing devices. That can work, but personally, I would limit it as 40.
All right. Okay. Ma'am, you have answered most of the questions. And is there any message you want to convey to our viewers who are watching this session, and how useful is a Book Creator for those students? Because definitely it's helpful for the teachers, but how is it useful for the students? Any one-liner for the motivation?
Well, if you want your students to be interactive, you have to ensure that they are engaged. And one of the best methods of ensuring engagement is by creating, using tools like a Book Creator, which add different media and into one place. So that is the need of the hour. We should be publishing ebooks.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining and for telling us the importance of ebooks. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you to all the viewers, to all the students and even teachers. Well, book creator, this is not new. We've been having e-books for quite long now, but now that we are in this pandemic dealing with the crisis, we are learning how to go for e-books more than the normal books. So thank you so much for watching this session. Keep on watching NCERT's online resource material. We are coming up next with another special program of ours, Sahyog, Guidance for Mental Well-being of the Children. The topic is children with learning disability, mental well-being and challenging behavior. So stay with us, don't go anywhere, and yes, stay safe, stay healthy. Namaste.